Assalamualaikum. I would like to start my lecture, chapter number one, HRM, and basically, um, it is all about how HRM initiated, what is basically human resource management is, and how you can basically get the maximum benefit from this book. Basically, this book, these notes are made by the book Gary Dassler, 11th edition. You can also consult them. Let's start our first topic, HRM. It is an introductory subject, and the most important thing is that in this chapter, you know the details of the whole human resource management. So let's start. What is HRM? HRM is a subset of management. It can be defined as policies, practices, and systems that influence employee behavior, attitude, and performance, employees, customer satisfaction, innovation, and productivity. The best explanation of HRM is the policies and practices involved in carrying out the people or HR aspects of management position, including recruiting, screening, training, rewarding, and appraising. Two things are very much important, and here they are basically discussing about the two major concepts. That HRM is a subset of management. Management is the vast concept, and HRM is the basically the further division of management. Now let's talk about basically they tells us about policies, practices, how you can attract the potential employees. If we talk about the simple definition of HRM, it is all about um, right person for the right job. So over here, they had explained it very well that you have to attract the potential employees, whom have something you can say talent, knowledge, skills, and abilities, and system that influence employee behavior, attitude, and performance. Now, the side by side, as you know, the policies and practices are very much important. The system which is basically prevailing in the organization, the culture is also too much important because it can influence the employee behavior. It can influence your attitude, your performance. Each and everything is very much basically catering your things. Your main purpose is to earn the maximum satisfaction of the customer. You have to bring the innovation, because without innovation, without creativity, you cannot achieve the major goal of any organization. So another definition of HRM is the policies and the practices involved in carrying out the people. So in each and every definition by any author, the same thing has been discussed, that the policies and the practices are the most important thing. But those policies should be related to the people aspect, should be related to the human being aspect. How it should be give the maximum benefit to them and their management positions, and related to the hiring, screening, that must be smooth. Their training must be very much appropriate, and the reward and appraising must be according to the requirement of the human being working in the organization. Because as HR discussed in each and every book, that people are the asset of the organization. Now, recently, the researches has been done in human capital, that people should be taken as a capital of the organization, because how much the organization is going to invest in them, ultimately they will get the benefit return. So that was all about the definition of HRM. Let's talk about the functions of HRM. The functions. There are two major functions, the primary functions and the secondary functions. So what about the primary functions? Primary functions which have the, you can say the prime importance, the most important one. Without them, the HR department would not exist. Primary functions include some different components like HR planning is the most important thing, that they should plan each and every program and action, equal employment opportunity without discrimination. They should hire the people. Staffing is the modern thing. Activities are defined for timely identification of potential employees. Um, Activities are important like recruitment and selection, what criteria is basically selected in it, compensation and benefits, what kind of rewards they are basically offering, employee labor relations, what kind of unions are basically working in the organization, and whether the organization are giving the benefit to those unions, or unions are actively working, they are not working against the benefits of the organization. So there is not a single communication gap between the employees and the unions. Next one is health and safety and security should be ensured by the HR department, because without health and safety, you cannot ensure anything in the organization. The safety, the health of the employees comes always first, because now we are discussing about employee first, customer second. Previously, the all organization discussing or working in the concept of customer first, employee second. Now, the last point is HRD. The development of the employees are very much important. What kind of activities are basically done for them? Like they are providing the gift culture to the employees. They are providing what kind of culture are basically giving over there. They are working on the current and future job demand. So each and everything must be initiated. Now, the secondary importance like is those functions which could be ignored in the organization, and without them, organization could perform their working appropriately. But those organizations which give importance to secondary functions too are known as the high performing work systems. Like you should, organization job design is very much important. Your job designing, like now we are moving towards the multitasking people. Now we are interested to give the people additional tasks to consume their layer times. So this is known that how you are going to design the job of the employees, how you are going to design the organization. That when employee came in the organization, so in the very initial time, they can easily judge the things. Performance management and performance appraisal system. The most important thing is that how you can how the organization is being manage their performance, and how they are going to do the appraisal, whether they are doing the critique, whether they are getting the feedback from the employees, from the supervisor, 360-degree feedback, what kind of mechanism is basically used by them. Research and information system include human resource information necessary to make enlightened HR decisions. So now we are talking about the researches which has been done, which is being done in the HR department. Like what kind of how you can manage the stress of the employees, how you can basically provide the balance in the working and the family life of the employee. So each and everything must be managed effectively. So these were the primary and the secondary functions. Let's talk about the goals of HRM. There are five major goals of HRM. Number one is how you can attract and how you should attract the right person. Now, how you are going to hire them, what is the selection procedure, what kind of testing is being used by you, what kind of next one is training. Training is the most important goal. Like first of all, the orientation session is very much important, the interaction session is important. Then what kind of motivational mechanism is being used by the organization, whether they are giving the bonuses, whether they are giving the employee of the year titles. Retain. The last point is how you basically going to retain your employees. The retention of the employees, like I had read in the article talent management, in which they had discussed that two things are very much important. First of all, the attraction. You are going to attract the right person and then retain, because now your talent is being drained out, and the people when get the better offer, they switch from your organization. Next one is the most simple thing, that what is the importance of HRM. The HRM importance is very much simple. Why HRM is important, human resource management. It is easier to answer by listing some of the personal mistake you don't want to make while managing. How you can identify the importance of any HRM? First of all, you have to identify what kind of mistake is being done by the organization. Number one thing is that if you had identified that the wrong person is being hired, the organization turnover rate, so many people started switching their jobs. Such people that they are not doing their best, like they are not working well. People are basically wasting their time, and the executives are basically wasted their time in the useless interviews, because when the turnover rate is high in any organization, so you have to initiate the process again. The interview process is being initiated again and again. Having your company cited under federal safety laws being insured, and if it is not being insured, it means that they are not giving importance to the HRM. And then employees thought that their salaries are unfair, the people is not doing the well, but they are getting the high pay. Trainings are not being done by the organization. Unfair labor practices is being done. Unfair labor practices, like organizational practices, unions are doing such kind of unfair, basically using the unfair means, and they are using their organization for some kind of non-creative things. So they are indulged, the employees and themselves, in the non-creative, and they are basically destructing the organization. So now global competition is there, technological advancement is there, challenging environment. So we should now give the importance of HRM, that the people should get the maximum benefit. Now the next one is the simple definition of the line and staff authority, because again and again in the whole book they are talking about the two specs, that there is a line authority and the staff authority. What is the line authority? Line authority, the person, the manager, the executive force, which can give the which have authority, and which are authorized to issue the orders to the other employees. The staff authority, they cannot, or they are not able to give any kind of orders to the other employees. They have just kind of advisory relationship, just like the quality control department, the purchasing department, or the supportive department is included in the staff authority. But at the line management, the most important thing is that it includes the superior subordinate relationship, like the GMHR, GM sales. So this is the major difference. What is the major duties? Duty of the line manager, if you are talking about the line manager HR. So right person should be placed, orientation session should be organized by him. Employees should be trained well, and improving he or she should make such kind of mechanism through which we can evaluate the performance of the employee. Gaining the creative cooperation and developing smooth working relationship, they should provide such kind of environment, like the open, you can say the such kind of environment in which they can provide the gift culture, the signature relationship. So they could invest in such kind of relationship through which people find the cooperative environment. Interpreting the company policies, rules and regulations are very much important. They should be revised according to the demand of the employees. Controlling and maintaining department morale should be high, and ensure the health and safety in the organization. Now let's talk about the next topic, that is basically based on the high performing work system. High performing work system is the most important thing, and we are talking about those organizations which are very much successful. Like we could give the example of Google. Then we have example of Apple company. So these could be exemplified as a high performing work system, because they have such kind of practices. They give the security to the employees. They are very much selective in hiring. So many people are basically coming as an applicants. Trainings are very much extensive. Decentralized decision making. Decentralized means that you are basically delegating the power to the other department. There is no status distinction, all are equal. Information is shared over there. Rewards are giving according to the performance. Transformational leadership, people are very much inspirational. Leaders are basically just like, I would like to give the example of Jack Welch. He said that as a leader, it is not our duty to become a leader and just to pass the orders. The leader is one who could basically create more leaders in the organization. Measurement of management practices, and it should be evaluated that the practices is being evaluated and being done, and high quality work should be ensured. Now, what are the benefits of high performing when you are basically ensuring such kind of system in the organization? It will generate the more applicants, and your screening is very much high. Your testing becomes very much high, just like in our army. You can say that the best system is the army is forces basically in Pakistan. Their screening is very much good because they are ensuring the high performing, that they are high performing work system. They are giving the highest level of output. Provide more and better trainings are there. They are effectively tailoring with the performance. Provide a safer work environment. Produce more qualified applicants. Hiring based on selection tests. Provide more hours of training. Conduct more performance appraisal. So, if we are concluding the benefits, the thing is that each and everything is very much effective, from hiring to the appraisal. They are on the daily basis. They are giving the feedback to the employees. They train them very much well. Their hiring procedure, the selection test is very much appropriate. So this should be, these are the major benefits of any high performing work system. Now the last point, and the last adding, and the last topic of this chapter is HR manager proficiencies. There are four major proficiencies which you could be easily identify in any good HR manager. Number one, his or her HR proficiency, their knowledge and skills is very much appropriate. Business proficiency, they are very much good strategists. They know how to assist the top management. Leadership proficiencies are very much effective. They are true leaders, transformational. They can transform the employees according to their own requirement, according to the vision of the organization. Learning proficiencies, ability to apply all practices. They have ability to apply all practices in the organization. Their learning abilities are very much appropriate. They basically, they're always in the learning phase. They learn new things and implement, and they are also executing it in the organization. Thank you so much. This was the first chapter.